Hello, my name's Helen. I work for Cheshire East Libraries and I'd like to tell you about a book that I love. The book that I'd like to share with you today is Stargazing by Peter Hill, published by Canongate Books. Stargazing was first published in 2003, at a time when I was reading a lot of novels and quite averse to trying the memoir genre. As is often the case, however, it was the beautiful cover that drew me in, and I managed to get a lovely hardback copy very cheaply at the end of the January sale in the bookshop where I worked at the time. If I'm completely honest, I'd hardly glanced at what the book was about, and being quite a fan of stargazing and the night sky, was later somewhat taken aback to find that it was actually the memoirs of a lighthouse keeper, a topic about which I knew more or less nothing. And this was really quite fitting, since by Hill's own admission, about as much thought had gone into his decision to become one. He opens by explaining, "Before taking the job, I didn't really think through what a lighthouse keeper actually did. I was attracted by the romantic notion of sitting on a rock, writing haikus and dashing off the occasional watercolour. I knew at once that this was the book for me." Peter Hill, aged 19, begins his short career as a summer relief lighthouse keeper on 3 islands off the west coast of Scotland. His writing style's easy, conversational and a pleasure to read. The book happily includes a map and some lovely illustrations here and there. There's your map. As much as you might expect stargazing to be mostly about the work that Hill does, it's actually about everything an idealistic young adult might experience during the 70s. I found the author's self-deprecatory humour had me laughing out loud, perhaps to the irritation of my colleagues during several shared lunch breaks in the staff room, and so this quickly became one of those books that, although you're desperate to recommend, you're loath to share because of what if somebody doesn't give it back. It is fascinating to read about the different lighthouses that Peter Hill works on, the routines in which he must immerse himself to keep them running, and the beauty that he encounters in nature. There are so many reflective and contemplative moments in the book, but I found myself equally absorbed in his descriptions of the eccentric characters he meets, and the cookery learning curve that he must scale in order to keep himself and his fellow keepers fed. I would recommend this book to anyone who has an interest in this unusual, now redundant profession, but also to those who remember the 70s. Embedded in this witty storytelling are lots of references to the popular culture of the time. I found myself remembering, but more often looking up, artists, films, bands featured in Hill's anecdotes and his reminiscences. I think stargazing is in its own right an important contribution to the documentation of lighthouse keeping lore, and an elegy to a way of life that was soon to disappear forever. I hope you stumble across a copy and enjoy it as much as I did. Thanks for listening, and please look out for more books we love from Cheshire East Libraries coming soon. Bye for now.